Hi. Hold on. Say hi, Vivian. I can't hear you. Your sound is off.
Sorry, are we the only ones on?
I think so. I was worried I had the wrong link. I was like, maybe this isn't right.
And it's being recorded. Look how cute Vivian is.
Hi, Mama. Sorry, it's really sunny. Here she goes.
Okay. Can she see me?
You can see you. Hey, Mom and Dad, Sada's on. It's just her. You want to say hi really quick? Yeah, just really quick before the. Love you.
Oh, love you.
Love you, Mama. You're so pretty.
Thanks. I had to give a speech today.
You're welcome. Okay, as long as you're there when you try the things, the whatever. Yeah, good job.
Is Vivian still vomiting?
No, thank God. It was just a one-time affair.
Good.
So that was good. Do we tell her.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then what? And then have we see you too?
Ask her to CLAP.
Clap. Vivian, can you clap? Yay.
Oh, she got scared.
She's
She got stage fright.
Oh no.
You can do it. Ah.
Yay. Yay, Vivian.
Do we have
No, it's this one, right? You said
Yeah.
email.
Yeah, it's this one. But no, like the wrong
Is there another link?
I don't know. Is there?
How are we both in the wrong one?
Both have checked the right one, right?
Yeah.
I do feel like that's weird. Hold on, let me just try. Let me try to leave and I'll come back just in case.
Okay. Bye.
Oh, weird.
Turn the recording on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just sorry, I'm having all kinds of issues today. Jesus. Fucking anyways, welcome everyone. Welcome to the second week of Rosé Box.
I just say we're off to a really good start this week.
Yeah, off to a very smooth start here today. Anyways, welcome to the second week of the Rosé Box. We're tasting this guy today. 2023 LaOsa Trasto Castell de León Rosado is what we're tasting today. Very pretty color of this thing. A few announcements before I get into it. Case Club closes tomorrow. So if you are planning on participating in the Case Club, get your orders in now. I'll be closing that at noon tomorrow. These are all the Rioja wines and some last 4 weeks of Bosch box, as well as some other things that kind of popped up on my radar last month. So they're all in there. Go check it out and put your orders in. Wine prom tickets. I'm sure you guys have been seeing my email, but if you haven't, the ticket price went up, so it is $185 now. It will go up again to $205 next Monday. So if you are joining us, I recommend that you get your tickets now. All the details in the email that I sent out. But there are only 12 spots left. So if you are planning on attending, I recommend that you get it up there. Also, yeah, this is open to all your friends, neighbors, coworkers, whoever you want to bring. So invite whoever you like. And then last but not least, and this is part of the reason why I was a little delayed today because I was over in Old Town Alexandria, but I'm in a cocktail competition tomorrow in Old Town Alexandria on the rooftop of a Hotel Heron. So if any of you guys are looking for something to do tomorrow night in Alexandria, you should come and taste some cocktails. There's going to be like 9 different cocktails, so you're going to get 9 cocktails. I think the ticket link is right there. I just dropped it in the chat box. It's like $40. You get 99 cocktails. There'll be judges, there'll be people, and you'll get a chance to vote. So come out and vote for my cocktail. I mean, you don't have to. You can vote for other people's cocktail too. But there's a People Choice Award and there's Judges Award. Just helping my friend Betty out. They had some last minute bartenders drop out. So she was kind of scrambling to find some people. So this wine guy is jumping in.
What are you making, Woong?
I am making it's kind of like a milk clarified rum punch kind of a thing. There are a bunch of spices. There's some bourbon, 2 different types of rum, a little Pernod, so a little anisette, and a bunch of pineapple, and all of that is steeping right now. It's going to get clarified with milk later tonight. So it's going to be delicious. It's pretty good. It's a recipe that I made like years and years ago. I had to like dig it out of my library back when I used to run bar cocktail programs. So, but yeah, you guys should come check it out. It should be fun. Anyways, the Eventbrite link is right there in the chat box if you want to come. If not, whatever, that's fine too. Last but not least, we are donating 1% of our gross revenue to WAMU 88.5 this month. So yeah, in the support of a public radio and NPR, I've decided to donate to the American University radio station. So there you are. If you want to donate alongside 6-Foot Wine Club, the link is right there in the chat box. Any questions about anything I just went over before we get to the wine? Cool. Hearing none, let's get to the wine. In case you are just joining us now, we're tasting this bottle today. 2023 LaOsa Trasto Castell de Leon Rosado is what we're tasting today. Or I should just say Leon. It's not actually Castell de Leon. It comes from the region of Castell de Leon, but the actual TO is Leon. Remember last week when we were talking about Provincial Rosé, I kind of said in general, if you like that really acid-driven, sharp, kind of angular, linear kind of rosés, then avoid warm places. But obviously, just like last week, they're outliers, right? They're people who don't, in general, but they're outliers, and I feel like this produces also kind of the same. That happens here. So even though you get all Castell de Leon, a lot of that coolness just keeps that acid. Just keeps the freshness.
And he's gone.
You're muted, Woong.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Fingers crossed that this doesn't keep happening, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Where did I drop off? How much did you guys hear?
You had gone to, there are some exceptions to wines grown in hot regions.
Yes. So just like last week, right? It's Provence, very Mediterranean, very warm place. But because the last week's producer is up on the kind of foothills of well, the region there where she comes from is 1, the highest elevation of all of Provence, and 2 is right on the foothills of that region. So there was the altitude at play, and it's a similar thing here. this place is even warmer and even hotter than Provence, but nonetheless, you are able to get this acid and freshness because of the altitude that's at play here. But you still get a lot of that ripeness and fullness that you would expect. I think this is kind of an exceptional rosé, especially something I did not expect from such a hot place like Castell and Leon. But yeah, I mean, we'll get into all of that. But yeah, in general, the warm places, we're going to see the effects of that, all that sunlight and then the warmth, which is all with all that ripeness and fullness. But we're also going to talk about the altitude and why this wine is quite different from what you would normally find. All right, so let's get to the map. Here we go. Here's a map of Spain. You've seen this a few times. I mean, last month we looked at this every week. We're talking about Rioja, right? We're just going straight to left, to west. And this green region right here is called Castilla y León. It's all two provinces that kind of combined, I believe it was in the 80s. Castilla y Vieja and León that kind of combined and they joined and became Castilla y León. But this is where we are. We've had wines from Bierzo, if you remember. We've had what is his name? Why am I blanking on his name? Raul Perez. We've had his wines from Bierzo in last time when we did Galicia box. So technically it wasn't Galicia, but it was close enough. But yeah, so Bierzo is kind of a little bit of outlier because it's way up in the mountains. But everything else, as you can see, is much more inland. And as you can imagine, as you go more inland in Spain, it gets really, really fucking hot here. Very much of a continental climate, very, very hot, very, very dry, smoldering heat in the summertime. But because it's a desert, you know, it's very arid, it gets quite cold in the wintertime as well. So really cold in the winter, really hot in the summer, really marginalized climate. It's not exactly a place to grow a lot of grapes, but they do here because it has the altitude here, and because of this, it's a desert. There's also this huge diurnal shift that happens here. So the daytime temperature versus nighttime temperature is quite different, and that's what essentially what allows this region to have a viable viticulture, as well as these rivers as well that runs through, that kind of provides this is actually Duero River, which is what runs through Douro River, right? That connects. This is essentially what gives it that kind of a moderating influence. And as you can see, all the vines are planted right along the river on either side of the river, with an exception of Bierzo, which is up in the mountains, again, with that cooling effect of elevation, which plays a huge important part in this region. But within all this, today, where we are particularly is here. Tierra de León is where this winery is based. They didn't achieve their DO status until 2007. So very, very new kind of area. Very hot, very dry, like I mentioned, just like the rest of it. And as you can see on the map, it's closer to the mountains, so it does get a little bit higher up on the elevation. Again, that's what gives it this wine, this kind of freshness and acidity. It is also one of the windiest growing regions in all of Spain. I found out actually. And what it does is apparently it helps the grapes develop these really thick skins. And that is part of why you see a lot. I mean, obviously, in a very hot region, you oftentimes see red wines more than white wines. But particularly here, because of that strong wind, which helps the grapes grow really thick skins, you can imagine that gives the wines develop a lot of extra color, as well as all the phenolics and anthocyanin, which is the colorant compounds that you would expect to see on the skins of the grapes. So we'll talk about this later on, but this wine has very, very little amount of skin contact at all. But the fact that it has this much color is a testament to the kind of thick skins and just naturally really high anthocyanin color compound coloring grape variety. Also, the soil here as you can imagine, there's rivers running through, so there's a lot of alluvial and clay soil. Alluvial just means it's the river, right? The riverbed. And then it's clay. Particle size of these soil is also very small, so it's become clay. Clay, if you remember from all these years of me talking about it, like that limestone clay is that like, the ultimate combination that you want. Burgundy is what they're known for, right? Limestone and clay. Limestone kind of gives it that acid, the structure, the backbone, and then clay is what gives that because the water retention and the temperature retention property of the clay, it gives the vines the fruitiness. It develops the ripeness. It makes the fruitness really pop out. So the fact that they have really alluvial clay here also helps with the fruit development, ripeness, and of course, even though despite the fact that this place is very arid and it rains very, very little. So yeah. Let's talk about who makes this wine, which is this lady, Noelia de Paz. Her name is actually also on the label, if you on the bottom of it here as well. Noelia de Paz. She grew up in a winemaking family. Her family's been making wine for a while. She joined the family business. Her family wine is called Bodegas Tempesta. Anyway, she joined the family business in 2005. But she was only on the business side, kind of commercial side of the winery. She wasn't actually a winemaker. She was farming. It was a little bit of a little interest to her. But little by little, just working in her family winery, she got involved in the work of the winery, the vineyard, the harvest, the winemaking, and all of that. And then finally, she realized she actually likes this, and then realized that that's kind of her passion. So in 2015, after working 10 years with her family, she decided that she's gonna kind of venture out on her own and start her own project, and hence the LaOsa was born. By the way, that LaOsa is one word. It's written as a one word, but it meant to be LaOsa, which means like a girl, woman, bear in Spanish, which talks a lot about her kind of the characteristics she believes in her wines, kind of like fearless, and just kind of out there and very respect nature and all of that is what I read. But anyways, that LaOsa means bear. Here's another picture of her stomping on some grapes. She works with the like-minded farmers, so she doesn't farm herself. She purchases these fruits, but she works with the farmers who works with on the traditional vineyard practices, avoids any kind of mechanical intervention as much as possible. She's kind of dedicated herself working with only the indigenous varieties from this region, which is Albarine and Prieto Picudo. To tell you the truth, I have never had Albarine. She does, from what I hear, she makes incredible Albarine. So I'm actually, that's about to land in DC pretty soon. So I'm quite excited to try it once it lands here, and I'll feature that on Case Cup if it's good. But I've never had Albarine before. I don't know if any of you guys have. But never had Albarine. Prieto Picudo, I've only had it as actually red wine, not as a rosé. But there's hallmarks which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, this has all the kind of hallmark of Prieto Picudo that I would expect, but much softer and gentle and prettier that I remember. Prieto Picudo is a red wine. So Albarine is a white grape. Albarine and Prieto Picudo are the indigenous varieties from this Leon, Castell Leon region. But Prieto Picudo particularly is a late ripening, high anthocyanin, meaning again color compound, grape variety, a lot of color in the skins. It's kind of characterized by these kind of like vegetal, savory flavors. So if you ever get a bottling of a Prieto Picudo from Leon, expect it's going to be high in tannin. It's also naturally high in acid, so high tannin, high acid, and just high phenolics. So just both the color compounds, the tannin, as well as this kind of like vegetal, a little bit of pyrazine running through as well. She also decided to collaborate, and if you remember that map, Bierzo is right next to her, right? So she's in Tierra de Leon. Bierzo is right here, and the Rias Baixas and Galicia is just right here as well. So not that far from where she is. So she also collaborates with the other kind of badass winemakers, as well as they're kind of mentors of hers. So that Raul Perez that I mentioned, considered the most innovative Spanish winemaker in Spain, as well as Rodrigo Mendez and Yas Baixas. They're both very well-known winemakers from respective regions that I just mentioned. So she also started making some Albarino and Mencia, which are the indigenous varieties of those regions. So you may see her name pop up on some bottles with Albarino and Mencia, but really at her own winery, what she makes is Albarino and Prieto Picudo. Here's some other pictures. This is a picture of her actual winery. As you can imagine, it is a very, very small production. She doesn't make a lot of wine. And if you look at inside of her winery, this is actually her winemaking operation, to give you an idea of how small it is. I mean, we're not talking about some, big factory, commercial, industrial production here. We're talking about somebody's essentially garage wine. Is what we're talking about. This is actually the picture of a Prieto Picudo. This is what it looks like. I mean, look at how dark it is. Look at the color, very purpley, very blue, and all that. All right, so what is this wine? This is a 15-plus-year-old, so not super old vines, but not super young either, 15 years. Dry farm vineyards, not certified, but all practicing, organic practicing grapes. 100% Prieto Picudo, there's nothing else in here. Grown on 800 to 900 meters in altitude. Again, pretty high in altitude, and that's essentially exactly what allows this wine to be. I mean, Prieto Picudo is naturally high in acid, but the fact that it's also on that elevation is what allows this to stay fresh and retain that acid. It's destemmed, and then native fermentation is stainless steel with only the free run juice. And you might have heard me talk about free run juice in the past, but it's time to maybe talk about it in case you don't know familiar with what that is. So free run juice is essentially the most prized portion of a grape must. So when the grape berries arrive in the cellar, they put it in the press, right? So they need to press the juice off the skins. But they kind of go in this order of descending order of how prized they are. So the very first part is a free run, which is before you even apply any pressure, is the grapes that pop from its own weight, because you're gonna, put the berries or the whole berries with the stems, everything, you're gonna stack them in the tank, right? Or sometimes in the press. Just under its own weight, some of these berries are gonna pop, and then the initial juice is gonna run out. And that is called free run juice. And that is the most prized, and that is the most expensive. You can also buy different parts, fraction of that juice. So there's a free run juice, and then there's a pressed juice, right? So you're pressing it on the skins, and then all the juice that falls out, that's called pressed juice. And then the last part is called hard press, which is where you're actually pressing off and you're starting to see some of the phenolics, the color, the tannins, all get squeezed out as well. So free run, press, and hard press. And the free run is usually the most expensive, most prized one. Oftentimes it's because it's lower in pH, meaning higher in acid, it's more tart, which is prized and what winemakers want, because obviously that gives freshness to the wine. Then the press juice, and as you press more and more, like I said, you get more phenolic, so you get more tannins, and sometimes if you're not careful, you can get more bitterness because of that. All that coming out. This, however, is 100% free run juice, meaning Noelia is treating this like a real prize wine. Like a lot of times, the top of the tête de cuvée, the top of the line bottling, the premium bottling the winery does, that's the only time that they will use free run juice. And the fact that she's making rosé using only free run juice gives you some indication on how serious she is about trying to make a rosé that is real wine. It's not just like some afterthought, right? It's not just like that Sanye method, just bleed some out and ferment it instead of throwing it away, or just trying to make some quickly internationally popular, that pound on the beach kind of, or by the pool style of wine. She was trying to make real wine here, and that's because she used 100% free run, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, this is all 100% free run juice. After that, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's just native fermentation, spontaneous fermentation in stainless steel tank. No oak, nothing else, just very clean, kind of pure, straight up. I couldn't find any information on whether this wine gets any filtering or fining, or amount of sulfites that's added here. But from the color of it, I wouldn't be so surprised if it gets a little bit of light filtration, because she probably doesn't leave this a long time on its lees to rack it off. So I would guess this gets a little bit of light filtration, just looking at how translucent the wine is. But don't quote me on it because I couldn't find that information. I did see the vintage report on this particular vintage. It said it was a very challenging vintage for the region. Hail and frost June, which is fucking crazy. Again, that goes to show like how that diurnal shift can be really wild, right? In a really hot place like this, you can get hail and frost. So hail and frost in June together with a hot summer, and it resulted in a very reduced yield and a very early harvest of the season is what I saw in the vintage report. Cool. Any questions about anything I just went over before we get into tasting it?
I have a question. So like
Yeah.
the pre-run thing, pre-run juice, does that, so it's like the juice that just comes out right away under its own weight. Does that mean it didn't spend any time on the skins?
Yeah, so I mean, it depends on how you do it, right? Like if they do it in a press tank, I mean in the press, so sometimes they'll just let it kind of sit there. So while the free run comes out and it's just kind of sitting there in contact with the skin, or sometimes they leave the bottom open. So as soon as it just gets squeezed and it comes out, oftentimes they will just let it steep out, but there's a chance that she let it just kind of have a brief moment of skin contact before dumping it out. But in this case, I'm willing to bet she just let it free flow out. Because I don't think she has I mean, you saw the size of that cellar. There's no pneumatic press like the state-of-the-art machining that she uses. I know that she uses basket press, and there's no way of like letting the juice macerate on the skins in a basket press. Like if it just comes out, it's just gonna come out. So yeah. So the fact that it's getting this much color is testament to how dark and inky Prieto Piccolo is. And it is. If you ever get a chance to taste the red, the full red, it is a quite inky, quite big, like really extracted kind of a thing. Yeah.
So
any other questions?
Yeah, all the juice wouldn't come out in a free run, right?
No.
So they use the rest of the wine juice to make another wine?
I would assume that they make red wine, is what I would have. Oftentimes with the rosé, this is usually a direct press. I guess a free run, this is kind of a light direct press like, so to speak. So direct press is as soon as the berries come in, they press it off right away, just off the skins, and then they ferment all of that. In this case, because she's using only the free run juice, that she will bleed it off, let the free run juice run off, and then she'll reserve that and ferment that, and the rest of it she'll probably crush and then make red wine with it. That's what I would imagine, but again, did not confirm, don't know. Any other questions? Cool. Let's taste the wine. Who wants to take the appearance? This wine smells so good.
I'll take the appearance.
Excellent. Thank you, Sara.
Sure. This wine is clear.
Wine is clear, for sure.
I feel like it's pretty, actually, sorry, I have very terrible lighting here, but I do feel like it has a pretty intense color, pretty intense. Put it at medium plus.
I'll go as far as a medium. I'll call this about like medium. Yeah, I don't think it is like fully pale, right? Like even last week's wine, I feel like it was less color than this, but yeah, it's a little more than that. Just somewhere, to me, this is like somewhere between pale and medium is what I call this.
And then I would say it is salmon.
Yeah, that's what I would say. This has got that little bit of like the orangey, kind of like salmony hue to it. Yeah, I'll call this salmon as well myself. Yeah, I'll call this like, I don't know. Yeah, like medium minus, somewhere between pale and medium salmon. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Any other observations? Anything else?
No.
Yep. No sediments, no bubbles, nothing else. Excellent. You get to pick the next person for the nose.
Obviously I want to pick my sister, Leah, if she's available. Or I don't know what she's doing with the baby. Leah, can you do nose?
Here. I mean, you might hear some background noise, but we're here.
Yay. Okay.
All right, there you go.
Steal Ryan's wine though.
Hey.
All right. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to prompt me. I don't know. Sorry.
Okay.
It's clean.
This wine is clean. That's what it sounds. Intensity.
I would say medium. Like I can see, but it's still, you know, I don't know, maybe medium minus.
Yeah. So everybody else's wine seem locked up. Like to me, I get it. Let's see, get a little swirl. I get it like here, which is, I mean, that's like 2
Yeah.
inches off the glass.
Yeah, I get mine pretty far off the nose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna call this medium plus in my glass. Aroma is oud. What do you got?
See. Oh my gosh, I haven't done this in a long time. I do feel like some floral for sure.
Yeah, I think there's a touch of floral here.
Not sure what kind though, but maybe rose, maybe I don't know. No, not rose. Honeysuckle maybe?
Yeah, I think like something like honeysuckle, some sort of blossomy, something like that. Yeah, totally. I think there's a touch of a floral here for sure. Not super overly floral, but yeah.
It's just a little.
Yeah. Any grapefruit?
Maybe some. No, maybe some pear, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps a little pear, perhaps a little quince, but
Okay.
yeah. Any citrus?
I would say grapefruit.
Yeah, I do get some of that grapefruity kind of citrusy thing. I get lemon as well, but like I do think there's like some little bit of grapefruit pith kind of thing going on. Not necessarily like the flesh or the like the oil of a grapefruit, but there's something like grapefruit just essence, some sort of a thing. Any stone fruit?
Stone, maybe nectarine. Maybe. But that just might be my nose.
I don't get a lot of stone fruit personally for me, but definitely more citrus. Any tropical fruit?
No, I don't smell any.
Yeah, neither. Not much of a tropical here either. Any red fruit? Any black fruit?
No, neither of those.
No.
Not for me, but again, it's been a while, so.
I get some red fruit here. I get some like red currant. I get a little bit of watermelon, strawberry. Like there's some sort of like a red essence here for me. Maybe even like a little bit of like a plummy thing, but there's definitely something like that.
Watermelon? I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, there's like a touch of like just a red fruit thing running through here for sure for me.
I feel like now you say that, I do feel like watermelon would be a good.
Yeah. I oftentimes with these, especially these kind of real light touch rosés, light skin contact rosés, I often get a little bit of watermelon. Like I rarely ever call out watermelon on a wine, except when I'm talking about. It's not even all rosés. It's these kind of really light touch skin contact rosés. Nature of the fruit.
No, I don't feel any. I mean, again, it's been a while. I don't feel any dried or cooked.
Yeah.
I don't really smell any herbaceous.
Yeah, I think this wine is all the fruit quality is really fresh, really ripe. Nothing overripe here, which is always the kind of the danger of this place. It's really hot in the summertime and just really hot during the day. So the wines that usually come from here are just really ripe, really high in phenolics and all of that. And the fact that she's able to keep these all dialed back in balance is again testament to not only the farming, impeccable farming, but also just the place where this comes from. So all that kind of a cool diagonal shift at just altitude is what's allowing this kind of fruit character to not overly develop. But yeah, very fresh, very ripe. Any herbaceous, herbal, anything like that?
No herbaceous.
I get a little bit of savoriness here, personally, for me. Like, I get, I don't know how to. It's not like necessarily leafy. It's not like green, but like there's something like a vegetal here for me. Maybe if I have to use that, like the closest thing would be like some sort of leaf, but it's not necessarily leaf. But I do get some of that, like a little savory vegetal kind of a thing. But just a little. I mean, in general, the Prieto Picudo does have a little bit of that the vegetal touch, and maybe it's just power of suggestion, knowing just me knowing that what that grape is like. But it can also get, when farmed poorly, that can also be like out of control, like really vegetal. Sometimes like really poorly farmed, like Cabernet Franc can smell like jalapeno peppers. It's not that, but there's just like a touch of it with the savory that's running through here. Any spice, any minerality like that?
I don't. I can't tell.
Yeah, me neither. I don't get a whole lot of minerality on this thing. And that's another thing here. Like this area is alluvial clay. It's not a whole lot of like, limestone, granite, volcano. It's none of that running through it. It's not a hugely minerally driven kind of wines here. But yeah. So yeah, for me, this is really just fresh, ripe fruit. I do think that there's something in the fruit quality here that I just want to tell you. Like, I don't want to go all the way as far as like Bosch box, like high tone carbonic fruit, but there's something that'll not like completely natural fruit here. Like some of it is kind of like a candy nature to it. So maybe again, this is really hot, so some of that the fruit can get pretty warm. Like I don't want to call it jammy, but like there's some like I don't know fruit hard candy kind of a deal going on here. Just a touch of it. But yeah, just wanted to point that out. Oh, here you go. Sara said those raspberry candies that come in a fancy tin. Not exactly sure which one are you referring to, but yes, that vibe. That like
You know the ones that like little round tin and they had their like cursive lettering. That's what it tastes like. That's what it smells like.
no, but I mean I think I get it. I get the vibe. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Or like
exactly
watermelon Jolly Rancher too.
Yeah. That kind of deal. Yeah. Like hard candy, fruit hard candy. Like there's some of that going on here as well, on top of the fresh fruit.
Good
all
job, yeah.
Any secondary, tertiary, Leah?
Let's see. Yeast, biscuit, bread, toast, pastry, no,
Nope.
none of that. No butter, no cheese, no cream, no oak, no.
Nope. Yeah, none of this. This is all stainless steel, very clean, very straightforward. And then obviously no tertiary. This is very young still. So yeah, we're talking about very primary fruit driven, primary driven kind of wine. But yeah, very fresh, very ripe. Yeah. Excellent. Good job. You get to pick the next person for the palette.
Thanks. I'm gonna go with Julia because for some reason in the beginning I saw a party hat and I don't know who the party hat was for, but I feel like can I pick it plus is it birthday? Is that what's happening? I don't know, but excited and need to know. So gonna call on you guys next to find out the mystery.
Tomorrow is my birthday, but for
happy
reasons,
birthday.
Yeah.
We did our family celebration night and she decorated the living room, which is basically like put various like colored blankets and like strategically placed stuffed animals all over, and then found a party hat for Dan to wear. And then Dave T came to pick up his wine in the middle of all of that.
Love it. Love it.
Well, happy birthday. That sounds awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
How old are you turning, Dan?
43.
All right.
Oh gosh. Wait.
You don't know how old your husband is, Julia?
I forget how old I am.
I mean, I actually often have to do that in my head.
I knew I was turning 44 this year.
Yeah, I'm younger than you.
Busted. All right. Well,
I've been 43 for like so long.
all right, Julia, Dan, you guys
Okay.
use the palette.
Okay.
Dry.
Plenty of fruit here, right? Abundance of fruit.
Yeah.
Really ripe, ton of fruit, but not dry. I mean, not sweet. There's no sugar on here. So again, like a lot of people get this. I mean, and I don't blame it. This is how our brain is, associated, like evolution. I mean, this is what we're able to think, right? Like when we smell fruit, we think sugar. That's why we're attracted to it in the first place, because like that was source of sugar for us. But a lot of fruit, but no sugar. I'll definitely try. Acidity.
I don't taste a ton of I don't feel a ton of acidity. I mean, obviously it's there, but like it's not coming off as sharp to me.
I don't know. I think it's like high end and medium. I would use medium.
I'll call this medium as well. I call it high medium, low medium plus. It's not like screaming, but yeah. I mean, it's also it's kind of like last week's wine. It's like there's just so much roundness, fullness, and body from just being in your place that these like acids kind of need some time. Like you got to sit in, like kind of really feel it. Like it comes in, but it's not like immediately just hits you with how jagged it is. So, but yeah, I would still call this high end of medium, lower than medium plus, which again, it's not the fact that I can't even get to the medium plus, or is flirting on the line of medium plus from a place like this, which is so hot, is with a early picking, with a great variety like this, which is a testament to not only the grape variety, which has a high natural offset, but also the place where there's that diurnal shift and then the altitude.
Yeah. I will say I went to Leon in June and it was fucking cold at night. Like it's cold.
Diurnal shift.
Yeah. I do get a little bit of tannin. Like it's not a lot, but there is like I can feel like a tiny bit on my gun.
Just a scooch.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm with you. There's a little bit of grip here. Yeah, I'll call this low. Yeah, there's definitely some textural thing going on here. And again, the Prieto Picuro is a very highly tannic grape. So even if it's a free run juice, some of that is going to reach out, especially if it's going to get this much color, which is all comes from the skin. It's going to get some of that phenolics out as well. So it makes sense that you would get some of the tannin. But yeah, I agree with you. There's a little bit there. Alcohol.
I haven't looked.
Feels like medium.
Medium. Yeah, it's probably like 12 and a half.
I was thinking like 13.
Oh.
13.5.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like 13.5 to me either. Feels quite balanced there. But yeah. All right. 13.5 still puts it right or some higher in the medium, but still in the medium territory. Body.
It's got some body.
Yeah.
I feel like. Like medium.
It's got some weight, right?
It's got some weight, yeah.
Yeah. This is not just like a pool pounder here. Like it's got weight, it's got some body and fullness. What would you call it?
A medium plus.
It's getting up there. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, or like high into medium.
I mean, like think about it if this was like a white, like a pure white.
Yeah.
It would be like, oh my God, like this is like
it would be on.
100%.
Yeah.
To me, there's some viscosity to this one. Like it moved, there's some weight. I'm with Julie on this one. I'll put this on a medium plus as well. And again, this area, this makes sense. Like the wines that come from here, these are not a territory for like a light, bright, on his feet kind of wine. These are like big, burly, extracted, ripe kind of wines. So even if you're trying to make very light touch, free run only rosé like this, just naturally the grape varieties that are used, just the climate they're here, it's going to produce this kind of body and fullness. So yeah, I totally with you. I'm going to call this medium plus as well. Obviously, we're going to talk about mousse flavor intensity.
I mean, it's medium, I would say. Maybe medium plus. It's like
Yeah, I'm gonna put this on medium plus as well. I mean, it's like remember between medium plus, but I don't know. I don't think it is anything is shy here.
no, it's not shy.
Yeah, really ripe fruit, really expressive. Yeah, I'm gonna call this medium plus as well. Do you confirm everything that Leah called out? Anything else that comes out to you, or anything you disagree with? So she called out a little floral, little queen, little citrus.
I mean, I get a little less floral on the mouth,
Yeah,
but definitely the green and the citrus.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I get a little bit of red fruit.
I do get some
There's like
it's like
savory.
some savory.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like a bay leaf or something. Like
Yeah, something along that line. Yeah, me too. Like I just keep getting that on the nose as well as on the palate. I thought last week's wine was a more floral than this one. Again, yeah, neither one was super floral wine, but it definitely got more floral in last week's wine. And this one, I do think there's still some, like I still had some guessing, but yeah, I totally agree. I think it's more on the nose. I get it stronger on the nose and on the palate, but on the palate, to me, this is like citrus and red fruit more than anything else. Just really nice citrus, little lemon, touch of that grapefruit pith, with that red fruit, the strawberry, the red plum, as well as what Sarah was talking about, that like both like fresh, but also like a little bit of that the hard candy kind of a thing going on. Hard candy raspberry. Yeah, I guess some of that quality here as well. And yeah, bay leaf. I don't really know what to call it, but I just know that I'm getting some like green.
And like maybe it's this savory note, but like I feel like I get some salinity or something. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the minerality is not necessarily like rock dust or anything like that, but I get it in the form of a salinity and salt, just kind of salty finish at the end. Cool. Any secondary, any tertiary?
not really.
Yeah, agree. This is all pretty much all in the primary. And the finish.
It's pretty long. I mean, it's at least medium plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, especially, yeah, that's actually, yeah, I'm gonna call it medium plus, but it's also like it finishes completely savory. It like starts off with all this fruit, and but at the end, I'm left with is like salt, that herbaceousness, and it's like it starts off sweet, not sweet in terms of sugar, but like sweet ripe fruit, and then it like travels, it evolves into this like salty, savory, vegetal kind of a finish. But yeah, quite long. I would call this medium plus, squarely in the medium plus territory here. All right, bring it home for us. How good is this wine? And who judge it?
I mean, it's very good because
we said flavor intensity was medium plus.
Yeah, both on the nose and the palate.
It was like pretty complex in terms of flavor profile. We called out a lot of different primaries.
Yeah.
So
call that about what? What would you call that? What would you call that complexity? But no secondary, no tertiary, all in primary. But yeah, call that.
But it's like medium at least.
Right? Yeah, I'll call that around medium as well. And the length we called it
medium plus.
Medium plus. So we're in 2 medium plus and then 1 medium. So landing us in the medium plus. good to very good. Leaning more towards very good. So being generous, I'm gonna give this very good. Would you age this?
I think you could, but I don't think you should.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel as well. Would it fall apart? I don't think so. I mean, it's got a decent, it's okay backbone, right? We call it higher in the medium, lower in the medium plus acid. So not like super strong backbone anyway. There's plenty of concentration of these fruit and all that stuff. There's already a little bit of touch of vegetable. It will get more complex as all those ripe fruit comes into the non-fruit things as it ages. But to me, the beauty of this wine is the freshness of the fruit. While, like, to me, this has all the power, the body, and the viscosity of a big wine. It's like a red wine that is like super light. It's almost that's how this drinks to me. And to me, the freshness of that fruit, without having it be super heavy, is what's the beauty about this wine. And then as you age this longer, you're going to lose that freshness while gaining complexity. But I don't think it's necessarily going to make the wine better. So I say, I think it would be perfectly fine. I don't think it's going to fall apart within the next, 2 to 3 years, maybe 1 to 2 years. Drink it over the next 2 years, but drink it now. Drink it as it is. I think it's what I would say call it. So
I think I like this wine quite a bit. I think that interplay between like the fruit and the savory note is like what, really sets it off.
Yeah.
I'd be curious in like a year or 2 years if that balance changes slightly, but like once the fresh fruit is like more diminished, I don't think it would be, it's
yeah, exactly. 100%. And I keep going back to that body, Julie, the medium plus body that Julia was talking about. To me, what is striking or what is interesting about this wine, at least for me, is that weight, the viscosity, the again power and body extraction, all of that. But there's still that like crunch factor. Like if you pour this just straight out of the bottle, there's literally that dissolved CO2 because it was in a stainless steel. It is, it's got that acid, the natural acid with borderline medium plus. So it's like, and then none of this is like super heavy, even the body's there. So it's got this like I don't know. It's almost like somebody who's like burly and muscular from the appearance, but like when you talk to them, they're just like a happy, jolly, goofy, like a laughing kind of a person. Like that's what it reminds me of. Like, the person is just lighthearted and joking and fun. And the part of the reason why not only do I find this wine to be very delicious, but part of the reason I also put it in here is that not all rosés are meant to be the pool ponder. Can this be a pool ponder? Absolutely. And but with that weight, the body, if you actually want to use this in to me, if I was running a wine program still and running a pairing program, this would be a fantastic wine for me to have in my tool belt because I could use this in so many different settings because it's got the weight and the body to match up the bigger style of food. It's got the acid to keep it food friendly. It's just like so many options and so many different directions to go. And it's got that kind of savoriness also playing through as well. And it's made from all free run juice. So yeah, just wanted to showcase the rosé that is not just meant to be a powder. It's just like it can be when it's made with this lens and an approach of making a real, carefully, well-crafted wine. Rosé can be like this. Is basically what I want to show. So there you go. Any questions? Any concerns? Any disagreements? Did you guys like this one? Did anybody not like this one? Did anybody not care for this one? Just out of curiosity.
I didn't dislike it. I think because like the time on the skins was so little, like I mean it like this just like really tastes to me like a big white wine. and like, that's fine, you know, and it's like, and yeah, and it has
Yeah.
like complexity and stuff, but I guess I'm just sort of like, it's sort of like not what I'm expecting a little bit in a rosé.
Yeah.
And like, and I don't always love it. I'm not always in the mood for a big white wine, you know.
Yeah,
So I think
yep.
that's like like, I get that it's a good wine. It's just like, yeah, I think it just, to me, it's like, it's just tasting like a very nice, like, complex white
Yeah.
wine.
Agreed, 100%. And that's exactly what I was trying to do with this wine. It's just like yeah, it was not all rosés are like that. So yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think this is it's big. Like it's got full. Like I mean, the just texture of it, just the viscosity of this wine is big. So for sure, the fact that rosé can get this big, like there's such thing as a robust rosés is basically what I want to showcase. So, any other questions or any other preference? Comments on the wine? All right. Let's play everybody's favorite game. How much is this on a retail shelf? How much would you be happy paying for this on a retail shelf? Spanish, right? Oftentimes very, very well valued wine. Very small production, right? It's all handmade. Yeah. It's all free run juice. But we're not talking about like something that's we're going to age for a long time. So yeah, 22 to 25. Yeah, 25, my vote. 25, 30. Damn. 21, 24. Okay. With or without the 10% tariff. Excellent question. Well, you guys are pretty much right on. This is exactly $25 on retail shelf. So there you go. I think for 25 bucks, I think this is an excellent, excellent value, if you ask me. I'd be happy paying 25 for this wine. Absolutely. There are much shittier rosés than this that cost way more than $25. Let's put it that way. Cool. Any questions? Any comments? Any concerns? Excellent. Excellent. All right. What's going on, everyone? How's life? Turn off the recording.